Okay, we're talking hockey now. Rich Sutter joins us in the bunker. 874 NHL games, 149 goals, 1,411 penalty minutes. How you doing, Richie?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Great to be here.
Welcome to the WHL Hub Center.
Finally.
Yeah, have you had fun here watching hockey?
It's been great. It's been a real good experience. You know, things that I wanted to do and was hoping to see has happened the last few days, and hopefully get another good day. If today was anywhere as good as yesterday, we've had a good day.
Yeah, no kidding. Doubleheader yesterday, great hockey. Tonight it's Winnipeg versus Swift Current and then PA versus Moose Jaw. We're going to talk NHL, junior, everything with Rich. By the way, pro scout for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Can I just say that you wanted to recognize Patrick Marleau?
You know, here's a guy that, you know, and I watched him when he was a 16-year-old in the Western Hockey League final. This guy carried his hockey team on his back as a 16-year-old, and he was a big, strong kid that could fly then. And I'm just so proud of this kid. Good farm boy. We know what farm boys are all about, and just the career he's had. I think, you know, Patty, I just want to recognize you today. Just that what a wonderful career you've had. How much fun it's been watching you, quietly cheering you on. Your epitome of what a real athlete, a strong, true professional athlete's all about. Your commitment to excellence, your commitment to being just not a great hockey player, but a great person, someone who's represented San Jose so well. Great family guy. So congratulations to you, and hope that hey, you skate well enough to play another year, so don't think about hanging them up yet.
Yeah, no kidding. And they're in Vegas tonight, taking on the Golden Knights. And unfortunately, the Marleaus won't be in attendance because of COVID stuff. They'll be watching on television. But just one more on Marleau. How about Troy in Toronto's comment that Gordy did it in a tougher era, his 1,786 games?
Well, you know, I would say yes and no to that. You play, you know, today's game is just, you know, in the last, on a year-to-year basis, it's transformed so much, Rod. The speed, the skill, the pace, you know, to really truly appreciate what these guys do and how fast they do it at the pace they do it at, you know, it's been mind-boggling to me at times, and to get down to ice level to really appreciate other than what you see up top 120, 130 nights a year. What these guys do and how they do it on a day-to-day basis, look, it's a grind. You know, you can't get to where you're at without being committed and putting your body through a lot of stuff. And, you know, he's done that. So, you know, yeah, it's great what Gordy's done, you know, knowing that wonderful man for a few years before he passed, and his family and their commitment to how they are today, and what Patty's done the same. So just in a different area. And I think it's certainly been no easier, and it's been every bit as hard as far as I'm concerned.
Bill Lothian's watching. He says, absolutely, Rich. Met Pat's dad in Swift Current while on a scouting trip. A gem of a guy. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Congrats from a Cinnaboya. Monty says, watching in Saskatoon, Rich is looking great. You know, I said that when you jumped out of the truck at the lake the other day. What are you doing right? Exercising, eh?
No, not, well, I mean, you try to. I mean, wintertime is not the greatest time to exercise.
True.
My wife Rhonda's awesome. She does, you know, she loves her yoga. She loves getting outside walking. You know, one thing that's, you know, we've been allowed to do with this, you know, what we've dealt with for the last 14 months is that we've been able to spend a lot of time together, but able to get outside. And we love the mountains. You know, we weren't able to get to our home in Montana this past year. So we've taken advantage of the Rockies in Canada, and to get outside, and a lot of hikes, a lot of cycling, outdoor cycling for me personally, and I think it's really helped me. And you know, I got to get back on that training regimen again here pretty soon. Now the weather's finally warmed up, and you get back outside and do a lot of things so you won't find me inside too much unless I'm watching hockey, to be quite frank.
Right, well, I'm sure you never get tired of the compliments. So this is the easy part for me. Rich is fine with answering questions from the viewers. I know he are. So I'm going to let you folks take over. You people can take over watching. And the Prairie Mobile text line is open, 306-840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Johnny Schmidt's a big Habs fan, Rich, and apologies for the way he says this, but he says, Rich, if you spoke to Daryl about the shames and what they need to do to get into the playoffs, he's talking about the Flames, of course. What'd you say? You only talked to Daryl once since he took over there?
I don't need to talk to Daryl, quite frankly. You know, Daryl's got bigger fish to fry and lots going on with this group. Look, they are what they are today. They know what they are and where they are. Hopefully they can get some more answers of where they feel they're going to be going here in the next 2-3 weeks. And look, there's teams around the league. We've all got problems, to some degree, and how we go about how we do our business. So, yes, there'll be some. I imagine there'll be some changes there, but that's not for me to really have my input on because that's not my organization.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. You chimed in on our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Who's the most underrated player in the National Hockey League? You came up with some of these. Nikolai Ehlers, Alex Barkov, Bo Horvat, or Sebastian Aho. And on Twitter right now, Nick Ehlers is leading with 34%. On Facebook, right in front of you, Ehlers is leading there, correct?
Yes.
But it's pretty split. Did we get the 4 right ones? What do you think?
Well, I think there's a lot of players actually, Rod, from the outside viewer, but for me, myself, when you're kind of in the trenches and see what's going on with all these teams and how they play, and you see a lot of them consistently. I watch hockey pretty much 24/7, and look, there's a lot of players that a lot of people don't really know about. You see the names and they're not recognizable because they're in the Carolinas, they're in other markets of the world that we don't get that type of news from those areas. But I think for me personally, there's not a lot of underrated players because you know who the good players are on every team. But I think from a fan standpoint, there's a lot of underrated players. Just simply think more than anything because we don't hear about them up here.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there was a fifth, it would have been probably Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. We debated that a little bit, and you said he could play on your team any day.
Well, we all know. Everyone knows about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's a Western Canadian kid. He played in the Western Hockey League. He's played in Edmonton for his whole career. He's had a great career there. So for me, he's not really an underrated player because I know what he is.
Well, and it's not a bad segue there with Red Deer. We all saw him go #1 overall to the Rebels, saw him go to the Oilers, and even the buzz in the rink yesterday at the Dub Hub was about Brent stepping down in Red Deer, and the guys are saying, how is Brent? What's the deal? What can you tell us about Brent? Handing the reins over to nephew Sean.
Well, Brent's, he's doing fine. Comes a point, in your career, Brent's not a string chicken anymore, and even though you might want to think that, but he's got a life to live too, right? And he needs to enjoy it. He needs to have his health and to be able to enjoy it. And look, when you're an owner of a Western Hockey League team and a single owner as him and Connie are, with no outside partners, and what's gone on in the hockey world the last few months, there's a lot of stress that goes on when there's bills to be paid and a lot of things that have to happen, and plus he's running a big farm. They do, so they've got a lot on their plate, and I think it's good for Brent to probably take a step back now and watch what his team has got here in the next 2-3 weeks to finish out the season, and for Sean to probably get behind the bench and see what he's got there as well, so they can get their heads together and their knowledge and hopefully a skill set to build it. Take a step forward with what they have to do this summer, and I think it's a good move by Brent at this point. And it's it is a bit of a kick in the stomach because you got to make a decision at some point, right? To take a step back, whether it's now or later. But I think in the long run, Brent's knowledgeable enough. He's got good people around him. He will get the right people in place in due time here, and hopefully the Rebels will take that step forward.
Merrick's the brains behind the operation, let's be honest.
Well, that's what he says, yes. So, and Brent,
if we believe that.
and look, Merrick's done a heck of a job there. There's no doubt. And Merrick's got aspirations too. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit surprised that some of these some NHL teams haven't brought him on board. I was kind of hoping that maybe a team like Seattle would find a fit for for a guy like Merrick. I think Merrick's a very talented, wise, smart individual, and I think wherever he goes, he will be an asset to an organization.
Well, I know that he does a great job in Red Deer. And by the way, Sean Dufour's watching, WHL linesman, says, I love that Daryl was the coach for Marleau's very first NHL game. That's pretty cool, too. And speaking of that, I mean, it's hockey's first family. We say it all the time with the Sutters. You can't throw a stone without it affecting a team that's got a Sutter on it. And before we talk about Brandon and the Canucks, just on Red Deer, like, Brent's holding on to that team forever, I would think. I mean, I would think in Red Deer, they love the fact that a Sutter owns the Rebels.
Well, you know, they've done a terrific job there. Brent and Connie are very community-minded people. They're involved in the community. And they've kept busy there for years and very active. So, you know, I don't know where Brent's thinking. We don't really talk about that stuff too much. But obviously, I would believe that there's been some people probably made some calls over the last few years wanting to know if he, you know, kicking tires about where his thoughts are about owning the club moving forward. And look, it's in a great area. It's a terrific building. Brent and Connie have spent a lot of money investing into that building, what's inside the guts of that building, and just the whole makeup for what these kids are offered on a day-to-day basis, and the facilities speak for themselves at a pro level. Look, it's one of the top and best places to live and to play hockey. So it's a great spot, and you know, it's a team that will continue to be highly regarded in the Western Hockey League and spit out players, which is what they're all about. What
a home run, though, Central Alberta for the Western Hockey League. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Right? And I just can't imagine anybody but a Sutter owning the Red Deer Rebels. Should we take a break, guys, or fire one more, Richie? Okay, we're going to take a break, come back with a sports update. We're going to talk about the Vancouver Canucks and them coming back and playing last night and winning. And he's got a nephew on the team. From Cody, watching on YouTube, can you put this up on the screen, guys? From Cody Fajardo's biggest fan, watching on YouTube. I love you, Rich Sutter. Look at a lot of fans here today, Richie. No shock. So we'll be right back and take more of your NHL questions with Rich Sutter. It's a Monday morning get-together. Thanks for joining us on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed. Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. More with Rich Sutter coming up, but first, a sports update. The Toronto Maple Leafs are hoping forward Zach Hyman is not seriously injured. He left Sunday night's game against the Canucks after a knee-on-knee collision with Vancouver defenseman Alex Edler. Toronto went on to lose 3-2 in overtime. Brendan Bottcher beat Kevin Cooey 6-2 in another big all-Alberta game on Sunday to book a spot in the men's final of the Humpties Champions Cup today. Bottcher also knocked off Cooey in the same venue earlier this year to win the Brier. Meanwhile, Ottawa's Rachel Homan secured a berth in today's Women's Championship. 3 Montrealers featured in an NBA game last night between the Raptors and Oklahoma City Thunder. Montreal's Chris Boucher had 31 points for the Raptors, and new teammate Kahem Birch added 7. The third Montrealer was the Thunder's Luguentz Dort. Toronto won 112-106. Alex Bowman passed Denny Hamlin on a restart with 10 laps to go and drove away at Richmond Raceway for his 3rd career victory in the NASCAR Cup Series. That went down on Sunday. Bowman produced a stunning conclusion to a race that Hamlin had dominated, along with Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano. With all eyes on Hamlin and Logano on the restart, Bowman ducked inside Hamlin, easily gained the spot, held it to the finish, became the 8th winner in the 9 Cup races this season. Told you I was into NASCAR this year. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Liquor Store and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. We already had the Flames question, Sheldon. You obviously logged in, so rewind on that. The guy wrote in here, Rich, about the Jets. James, here it is. James in Borden, Manitoba says, the Jets face the Leafs twice this week. They're 4 points back. Maybe by next Monday, the Jets are tied for first. Please, hockey gods. My question to you is, how important is it to finish first in this country?
I don't know if it's that important, quite frankly. These teams are so good, and they're able to win in any building in the league, any building in Canada, for that matter, at this point. And I think the biggest thing is you want to go in playing as well as you can possibly be, and that's the biggest thing. And I think if you ask any coach, they're going to say the same thing, is that you need your guys playing well at the right time, and you need your goaltending playing well at the right time. And the biggest thing is, I think you look at that right now, those are big games for the Jets. They're big games for the Leafs that are kind of scuffling a little bit right now too. So, the Jets not having Blake Wheeler's a big hole. And, how long is he going to be out has to be a real concern there. Now you wait and sit and see what the next 2-3 days bring about on Zach Hyman. So that's a big hole to fill, especially that, you're not just going out and plucking a guy off someone else's roster at this time of the year, because that's not happening, because it's not, the trade deadline is passed. So, I think you can win in any building. The game is, the margin of error is so slim, Rod. The parity is so strong. Look, it's right there for all these teams. I think, again, it comes down to health, who's on a roll, and goaltending.
I'm just going to sprinkle in comments as we go here. Dan Croft's watching. Good friend of mine, Croft. He says, love the NASCAR updates. Well, you've been trying to get me into it for years, Crofty. I'm into it now. As I said to Rich, when it comes to racing, I enjoy the smell of burnt fuel better than manure. So I'll stick to auto racing over horse racing. That's just me. You don't mind me firing all these rapid-fire questions that you do?
No.
So I read a story somewhere that your nephew Brandon and his whole family was pretty severely affected by COVID in the last 2 weeks. So what's your take on them coming back to play and how it ravaged the team?
You know, we were very concerned for Brandon and Gazelle and the kids. You know, especially when it happens to little ones, because you don't really hear that much about that. And but with the variant, obviously that's a different question. And with Gazelle, with them expecting their third little one in August, yeah, it was a big concern. But thank God they've managed to pull through it. Thank God for the whole organization and the players and their families. It's just not a hockey story anymore. It's a story that you worry about. You worry about the families and the well-being and the, especially if there's any long-term effects on the little ones. And they've managed to pull out of this. And I'm sure glad that Miller did what he did a few days ago. I think it was the right thing. It bought them some more time, which I think was badly needed. And who cares about rescheduling games and making this has to last a little bit longer to get through this? But in terms of the schedule, I think the biggest thing, Rod, though, is that it bought them much needed time because you can't expect, I don't care how elite these athletes are, you can't expect them to come in and play on the timelines that were initially given to them and expect them to perform without worrying about long-term effects of their own health and well-being.
Well, I think it's important for people to know, and you and I talk a lot, at least once a week, you've been always extremely COVID conscious. You have your vaccination shot, your first, right?
Yes, but I'm still, one of the things I promised myself from day one is that, I miss my travel. I miss my responsibilities, what I do with my organization. I feel like, it feels like at home and doing things on a daily basis, I've kept as busy and probably more busy in some ways, but at the end of the day, my concern from day one was staying clear of this, staying healthy for the well-being of my own family and my own health. And knock on wood that we've managed to get through it so far. And just as our family have managed to get through it too as well, with the exception of Brandon and his family.
Well, but I think that's the point. I've had my shot. You've had your shot. I can't wait for my second, and you haven't had your second, I believe.
No, hopefully in a couple of weeks if I can get somewhere to get it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying to the non-sports crowd that are up, I saw what was being said about me on the weekend. Rod doesn't care about COVID. All he wants is sports. I'm like, no. If we can play sports safely, I just don't want everything shut down. Like, for instance, in the Dub Hub, you've been in it the last 4 days. I've had people say to me, this is the safest place on the prairies, right? And you went through your checks on stuff. So it's like, if we can do it safe, I don't want to get it, but I don't think we should shut down all sports either. Why can't people get their head around that?
Well, it's honestly, Rod, it's been very frustrating as for me individually, and I know my opinion doesn't count, but I'm just going to say that, look, we've put ourselves in some very brutal spots as a country and as people, and I don't get it why people don't understand. And they can rip whoever all they want that think that I'm wrong, but at the end of the day, we have to do what's right, and I don't think what's right is by not listening. What's right is by doing the right things that's going to help us chase this thing out of here, and praying that some people get their act together in terms of our vaccines for our country, because a lot of under-delivering going on as far as I'm concerned about where we're at with this and the timelines of where we should be at compared to where we said we were going to be at 4 or 5 months ago. And people made fun of what was going on south of the border and how terrible it was, but, population-wise, they were in tough shape, but you look at, you can get a vaccine anywhere down there. And here, I mean, we're fighting just to get people ones and quit throwing them away. Let's start using them, putting them in people's arms, because this is what's all about, and is getting our people taken care of, not just the first shot, but the second shot.
Right. I just wanted to get that out there and clarify your stance is the same as my stance.
It's concerning. There's no doubt on a daily basis. It does bother you because we need to get our people taken care of.
All of your questions for Rich when we come back. It's his last segment with us because he's got some hockey stuff to do after this. By the way, Troy in Toronto says Rich is a great guest, enjoying his commentary. That's why we got him in here. And if you got questions, let us know. We'll fire them at him right after this break. You're watching the RP Show, Monday morning coffee get-together for Caliber Coffee. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Capital GMC is your used car destination. We're overstocked and priced to move, so shop online or in-store to get the best deal on any one of our massive selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Every certified vehicle includes the balance of manufacturer's warranty, 150-plus point inspection, roadside assistance, and certified exchange privilege. So save the depreciation and buy pre-owned. Capital GMC is your used car destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
If you could spend less time in the field, more time with your family, and make more money at the same time, would you do it? Verge's farm operations planning technology eliminates unnecessary turns, improves in-field communication, application accuracy, and reduces deadheading. Finish fields faster, burn less fuel, and use fewer inputs, all in one simple-to-use, web-based solution. Do more of what you want, when you want, with the people you love by subscribing to UNCH PAD by Verge today.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Last segment with Rich Sutter, and we got questions for him. James in Ford, Manitoba. Great interview. The Sutters are not known for loving the media, but I can see that he respects Rod. It's like watching old friends. I remember the first time I met him in the lobby of the Ramada in Lethbridge. You came down for breakfast with Rich Preston. I don't know if you remember that day with the Pats.
I do.
We've been friends ever since. Well, Dean Tix is watching it outside Green Bay, Wisconsin. He says, what is Rich's take on the BC Hockey League possibly becoming involved with the USHL? He's a fan of the Green Bay. It's the Blizzard, right?
Gamblers.
Gamblers? Oh, so you know all about it.
Of course I do.
What do you think about the BCHL move?
Well, I think right now it's just, until you actually see it happen, there's rumors, but maybe where there's rumors, there's smoke, there's fire. But I think it's just not the BCHL, quite frankly, Rod. I'm hearing real stories about some of the AJHL teams as well, and that has been going on for more than
20 years. Yeah, but
more real than anything lately in the last few weeks. So, yeah, I don't think it's something the Canadian hockey wants to deal with. Quite frankly, they want to be losing teams out of their leagues and going elsewhere. But who knows where this is going? Obviously, someone has done their homework and someone has done some planning. So it wasn't like this popped up overnight.
Some Junior A leagues feel incredibly restricted by Hockey Canada, and obviously BCHL is one of them. That's why they want to break off on their own. So it's a bigger story than we have time for here, I'd say.
For sure. For sure.
The people, a lot of the viewers were asking your thoughts on if the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be acquiring a center to play with Line A. What is the future looking like there? Because you talked about it at the trade deadline, and I don't think you guys got anybody.
Look, every team needs a number one center, right? Some teams have one, some teams have two. And at this point, yeah, our goal is to get better. Our goal is to find that center. We believe that we will. I also believe that in this league, the way the league is nowadays, to have a number one center, and Edmonton was fortunate to get their guys through the draft and through the tough times they had preceding drafts that allowed them to get themselves in positions to have those guys. I also believe that you're in a league today that if you can have even two real good number two type guys, it still makes you a strong hockey club. I think the biggest thing is if you got your wingers that are talented, skilled players that can explode and score goals for you, your job is to get them a centerman that can get them the puck. And I think that's every team's goal, and I don't think a centerman's going to fall into our lap right now. So it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort and some great thoughts about how we're going to pull this off. But I really believe with our group of people that we're going to be able to get that guy moving forward for next fall.
Jeff in Winnipeg says, love the Sutters. They don't back down and not afraid to say it like it is. And in that vein, Rich, we got to be out by 56-ish. So I got two quick questions for you. Johnny, the Habs fan, just hammering you on giving the Habs Josh Anderson in the Domi trade. Do you want to address that?
No, because, there's a reason why trades are made. It's about trying to find ways to give opportunities to people in your organization and to give others opportunities somewhere else. And I'm not saying where that went. We within know how that works and how what this is all about. So I'm not going to comment any further.
Perfect. And we have 1 minute for the WHL fans. Can you repeat what you said an hour ago in our morning meeting about all these young stars coming up?
I'm telling you, the Western Hockey League people, it's been a real treat to be able to watch games in the last few weeks, especially in the last 3-4 days. Western Hockey League fans, line up and get your season tickets in a lot of towns in the next few months, because this Western Hockey League has provided something in the last few weeks with younger players, and they got a lot to be excited about the next 2-3 years. A lot of real strong young players are going to be fun to watch.
Absolute stars.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, Rich. He's in town scouting in the Dub Hub. I'll see you tonight for the back-to-back games. But thanks for coming in and answering all our questions. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, Rod.
Rich Sutter's appearance is brought to you by Great Western Original 16. One of our biggest partners here at the RP Show is Great Western Breweries. Coming up next hour from the Winnipeg Jets radio crew, Jamie Thomas will join us. We'll get to your football questions and everything else. Hour 2 coming up on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and of course, listen live at rodpedersen.com.